Hi, my name is Brian Hardy, and I'm going to be doing some presentations today on Edublogs and Screencast-o-matic, and I figured there's no better way to actually do this presentation than to use some of the technology that I have available. So if there are some pauses kind of in here in some different places, just kind of bear with me because you're walking through all of this with me as I go along, combining PowerPoint, Edublogs, the Dell webcam, and Screencast-o-matic to kind of let you see how I'm going to be using some things in the classroom and how you might be able to use them as well. So I will be back a little later, but for right now, enjoy. What I'm going to be starting with here is a PowerPoint presentation. Now you look at this and you're like, now what does this have to do with anything that we're doing so far? Well, let me tell you. This is a screen capture of one of my algebra classes that I have this year. You will notice there are a whole lot of dots in there for absences in places. Now, that's not the most fun thing in the world to deal with. That's just kind of the way I feel about the whole thing. Okay? I've got all these kids that are missing my lessons, and somehow I've got to be able to reteach all of this material. Now, when I have 10 kids gone in a class, that's kind of difficult. My next kids want to get started. My other kids want to go back to this. How the heck am I going to do this and not lose any more hair than I already have? So what tends to happen then? Well, this does. My next screenshot. Zeros start going up everywhere. Kids don't want to stay after school. They have jobs. They have other things. Now, I know some of you with the younger students, this isn't as much of a problem, but there's probably something else that goes on. So I'm in constant battle with this, trying to figure out how am I going to make this work. Again, like it says here, I know absences and them not coming for help to get on the material means I'm going to get all these zeros in places, grades look bad, my evaluation's going to go down, this is terrible, so what am I going to do? Well, then through the TIE program, one of the things I found in their 100 most popular places was Edublogs. Now, Edublogs here in a minute when I get through, okay? Like it says on the screen, the page creation was easy. I'm going to show you some initial screens if you start your own account based on the one that I've put together in about a week so far. So they have pre-created themes. It's really nice. Pages you can add and subtract. If you want them on your page for the time you can. If not, you can archive them in other places and then pop them back up only when you want them. So I like the flexibility that way. Posting your own videos, which you're going to see here momentarily, or in putting videos in from other websites, which I've also done. It gives you some flexibility if I want to do my own thing, if I want to steal somebody else's. Really, really cool. And then ease in creating my own custom navigation based on my needs. I have links all over the place to things. I have menus embedded into menus. It's a dream of mine so far with what I'm seeing. The other site we're going to be talking about today is Screencast-o-matic. Allows you to do recordings of different things. So some things that I liked about that, I can record anything I see on my screen. PowerPoint presentation, worksheet that I've done, something directly off the internet. I can take video things because, if you have not noticed yet, this entire presentation is being done via a Screencast-o-matic presentation. So I can add my voice to this stuff. Ability to record up to 15 minutes straight. Well, luckily I'm the pro, so you're going to be able to hear me keep talking again right past the 15 minutes that I'm allowed. But what I love about that is, being a math teacher, I can take something that's worked out with steps and use the cursor to show what steps I'm doing and talk about it at the same time. Really works well, I think, is going to for my students. I also can upload things to YouTube if I want to save space on my hard drive. Screencast-o-matic's website, but they only allow me 15 minutes no matter if I'm pro or their free program, or to a flash drive, which I've done with some of my videos if I want to be able to take them with me, all depending on my needs. Kind of nice. So what I'm attempting to do with Edublogs and Screencast-o-matic in putting those together is being able to take the ability to combine student blogs. I'll start a topic on something. You'll see some of those here soon, and let the students interact back and forth with me and each other. Have the missing and absent work in one place where they have completed notes, where they're going to have videos of lessons or videos of people doing problems like that. So if somebody doesn't get something, or maybe they were absent and haven't seen it at all, that they can do that on whatever time they have instead of having to press into my schedule. Video lessons, like I said, for reteaching and absentees. Teacher info, I can put info up about myself. what my schedule is going to be, what's going to be going on, things like that, and get information for parents, because sometimes parents just would like a place to go to figure out what's my kid doing in math class or whatever class it is. What can I do to help them? When's the next test? I can get all this stuff in one place instead of having to email parent all the time from Skyward. Okay? Oh man, this could be sweet if this actually works. Okay, is this a dream? Don't wake me up. This might be the answer to all my prayers here. So starting your own Edublog, and I'm going to be doing some more interactive work when we actually get to working with mine here momentarily. So I just took a screenshot of this one. When you first come in, they will have you sign in. They'll have you create a blog. I made this the Harlem High Practice blog. And some of the things that you will start to notice, and I'm hoping my cursor guy is still showing up here, is that privacy, you have options, okay? The blog is visible to everybody, including search engines. That's their default. I can have it where it's just a password if I just want it with certain students of mine. I can have it where I can give people the link. That would work. So I can make it really, really private or really, really public. Themes, which we can get into a little bit. Lots of pre-made themes, depending on what color schemes you like, if you like certain backgrounds, if you like certain ways, 3-column, 2-column, no columns. You kind of do whatever you want. Okay, the storage, now that's the one bad thing about free. You only have 32 megabytes of storage space, which if you're going to start messing with videos and things isn't a lot of space. When I upgraded to Pro, that got me up to 5 gigabytes. That's still going to be a little challenge for me with some of the videos, but if I keep bringing things in and out of files, I should be able to stay within that pretty easily and have a really complete blog for things. And then you can see if you've started blogs, comments that have come in, comments that have you made, and some other things like that. So pretty cool program. So then here's my dashboard page, and this is kind of where you do everything as you're working through. You know, you do your titling and things. You'll get to see my theme here momentarily. Okay, I originally had blocked search engines from my blog but allow normal visitors to see it. I might open that back up because I really want anybody that wants to see my site to see it. There's nothing bad on here. I like to share. And again, you can see that I have 5 gigabytes of storage instead of the 32 megs that's available on the free portion. So a couple of things that are better this way. So once you get into your Edublogs, if you're going to start playing with things, you'll get an opportunity to here momentarily. We're going to go ahead and we're going to work on picking a theme. Now, the different themes can be chosen, as it says on here, based on color, sidebar options, number of columns, widgets, wikis, and things like that. We're going to take a peek. I'm gambling here that I'm not going to mess this up. We'll see. Okay, they're going to make me sign in again. That's no big deal. I can work with this. And what ends up happening is, as I'm working on my themes, okay, my current theme you'll see on my page here in a minute, but you'll start to notice with some of these, you know, background colors can be different. Some of them are going to have the calendars along the edge. Some of them have more of the many types of links and things. But again, if you're a news writing teacher or if you're a social studies teacher, you might have, you know, some different needs and different layouts than I do. And they give a lot more layouts with the premium than they do with the regular. But even in the regular free version, I found lots of themes that would be available. And you can go ahead and preview those and kind of work through some of those until you find something that you like. And even once you've started your blog, you can switch at any time. So it's kind of nice in being able to do that. So once we get back into the show here, as you can see, I'm still a rookie at half of this stuff. When you get into your main page, okay, the menu at the top of the page lets you do all sorts of things. So we're going to actually go to my home page now. So when I get to my home page, one of the things that I can do, and I'm going to sort of screenshot some things a little bit differently here, and I'm actually going to pause. Sorry about that delay, just a couple of minor technical glitches here. But where you're at now, and I'm going to kind of scroll around my page a little bit, is my math page. A couple of things you'll notice right away, or at least I hope you would, is that I have got links up here towards the start that talk a little bit about the classes that I teach. Now right now, and this will be different in the future, my Algebra 2 and my Algebra 1 classes, okay, I don't have a whole lot in right now. But I also am going to have a portion for cool math sites that describe some places they can go, and a parent corner just to give them some basics on things and how to help your students study. Some things that teens tend to do when it gets to be certain times of the year, like it's senioritis here at the high school right now. Trying to deal with some of that. But it's also going to be kind of cool that you get to see, okay, updates. Whenever there's a new post, if a parent or a student wants to see a new post that I put up, they can subscribe to me right here. If I ask a question in one of my posts, for instance, what are some applications of trig? Can anybody find some real-world applications here of what we've been doing? Extra credit if you can go ahead and find those. Well, the cool thing about this is my students then can go ahead and they can Google search it right on the site. Real-life applications of trig, trying to get them more interested, but make it in an easy format that they can work with. Okay? Do you like math? Why or not? Why or why not? So you can kind of go through some of these things and kind of make things work out a little bit. It's nice. Now, I want to get back here to my PowerPoint for a second, though. I'll come back with some more of the things that we're doing here. However, one thing I would mention as we go a little bit further, okay? Now the dashboard. Now I was there before with the general runs with my screenshots. We're going to create pages about you, your blog, your rules and guidelines, and all of these other things like that. So I'm going to go back to the website here for just a minute. And for some reason, they keep me signing in. I am apologizing for the inconvenience, but sometimes that's what happens with technology. So here I am back at my dashboard, which we took a quick look at before. One thing that we didn't look at quite as closely before, though, are some of the things over here, talking about posts, for instance. When I do posts, I can see what posts I've made. I can see if people have made any comments to them when I published it, and I can even go in and tweak some things if I want to, get rid of things, however I want to see this done. So it's kind of nice. If I'm doing some other things, maybe I want to add some links to my page, I can go ahead. Edublogs has theirs, but if I want to get some more links in here, I can. The cool thing that I like the most about this here is my pages. I'll get to this more as we go. Any page that you put on here can be a page itself, or it can be a page within a page, which I'm going to get into here momentarily as we get into some of the other parts. But I mean, for instance, if I just want something simple, okay, about Mr. Hardy, I go ahead, I click that, and basically what I did here was take a way to explain who I am a little bit, how you can contact me, when I'm available before and after school, just to let the kids and let parents know a little bit more about who I am. Okay, so again, it's kind of nice in that way to be able to do some things. As I get into courses, okay, and I won't get real deep into this right now, but it allows me the opportunity to let people know what has happened, what will be happening, and some things like that. So it's kind of nice to see how some of those things work. So again, as we get back into our presentation, I want to take a little bit deeper of a look at some of my actual pages. So this is the one that I put the most work into so far to kind of give you an idea of what's going on. So, Week 1 ACT page. Cool things here. You can insert links to the files that you already have, your pages. You can download them and add media. So like if you have a Word document or a PowerPoint you want kids to be able to see, you can put that right in with a link right in your page. And then here, for instance, with my actual page, okay, here's my Week 1 page for ACT prep. Put the dates in there. If a student happened to miss the first day, well, what did I miss? What did I do? Even though I have those things available in class in a folder, if some of these kids are more technologically advanced, they can always click and download whatever is happening to go on that day. So for instance here, I clicked on my intro, okay, and here's my entire course outline that we went through the first day of class. So they can get that material from me, and they don't have to have missed anything. Kind of nice. Well, what if they didn't just miss that? What if they missed something else? What if they missed the actual work? Okay, and this I'll actually have in a little bit more of a detail once things start. But again, they can go ahead, they can easily get hold of what's been going on. Let me scroll over here a little bit. Okay, and they'll have the note sheet. I'm going to have the finished note sheet in here as well to try and help out. And you'll get to see another thing in the future here a little bit on how I can actually do some of the example problems and have a video of that to let them see how that's working. So it's kind of nice to see how that works. So I get done with that part. Okay, they've got their notes, they've got their everything. They're still not getting stuff. They just have no idea what's going on. Mr. Hardy, I do not understand percents. They are not my friend. So, okay, well, here's some other help with percentages and decimals. I've got a website that I can go to. So I come up to coolmath.com, and all of a sudden, what's a percent? How to convert percents to fractions, into decimals, and they have more examples for the kids to look at. I don't mind if a website or somebody else has a better way of explaining something or a different way of explaining it that a student might understand better. I don't have an issue with it, so here's one option that those students would have, looking at another website. Okay, well, I need something, Mr. Hardy, I don't get it unless you're telling me. Well, since you can't have me, physically all the time, maybe sometimes you want to solve a percentage problem. You can't come when Mr. Hardy's available. So now you sit here, and as you can see, they will speak through it and describe as they're going on. I'm just stealing stuff from YouTube. Okay? That's one thing we know how to do as teachers. Copy and steal everything. So we put that link in here with YouTube. Now just to show you how this works, like how you putting these in. Any page that I have, I can go up here to the top of the page where it says Edit Page. And if I click on that, okay, you see all of my links that I have in here. Well, if I wanted to add a new one, I can come up here to the Upload Insert, okay? I have media, audio, video, and images. So if I have clip art I want to put on a page, I can, okay? If I have some other sort of media that I want to put in here, I can do that. I can upload it from somewhere. Now what I've done here is, I went ahead and just went to the website, copied the link, and went ahead and just copied the link in here when I was doing it with Cool Math and YouTube, the ones that I've used here so far. What you can also start to do then is embed. Now again, I don't do much with embedding because again, I'm taking up space that way and I don't have a lot of it to be dealing with. And I'm also a rookie at this. It might be something I get better at as I go along. But it allows me the opportunity to be able to go in and do some of these other bits and pieces. Now again, this doesn't just have to be, and I'm going to go ahead and get back to my page here. But it doesn't have to be just goofy stuff. It can be funny things. I just kind of thought this was hilarious, so kind of kick back. This is going to give you a little viewing enjoyment for you.
This is going to go out to all my students. I've been working very hard for you, trying to think of new ways to reach you. I spent about 6 hours on this rap, and I didn't get paid anything extra for it. So for all my students on the south side, on the north side, on the east side, and on the west side, and all the students in the middle that are not really part of the east side, north side, south side, or west side, I have this question for you. How much time are you spending on your homework? Don't ever give up. This is not comfortable for me. Sometimes math will not be comfortable for you. Don't ever give up. We read from left to right like this. The bird takes flight, but doing that in math it gets you treated, defeated, mad, and overheated. You need the O of O's. You need the O of O's. You need the order of operations. A math problem. First you do the groupings, parentheses, fraction bonds, even little root things. Next comes exponents. You gotta own it. I wish it was the way my money was growing. Don't cry, multiply, divide, left to right. So I mark it right, add, subtract. But don't disrespect, you might subtract and add. And don't get mad by my killing rhymes or sugar billing time. You got the dub for free, listen to me. Teaching about the O of O's. A math problem. I gotta solve it. I never give up. I never give up. And if I get it wrong, I try it again. First you do the groupings, parentheses, fraction bonds, even little root things. Next comes exponents. You gotta own it. I wish it was the way my money was growing. Don't cry, multiply, divide, left to right. So I mark it right, add, subtract. But don't disrespect, you might subtract and add. And don't get mad by my killing rhymes. I should be billing time. Bob the O's. Thank you.
So we can even get those things on here and just kind of have a good time with things. Now, I have to admit that I try some things like that. It's not always great, okay? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Now, that's taking something directly from YouTube and trying to use it just with a link. Well, I wanted to try something where I could actually do something on my page, working with actually having video of me doing something. So, we've been working on proportion story problems in ACT Prep. So, with the help of Dell's webcam, I have a little video that I put up here too to kind of let my students see what's going on. So, we'll kind of let you kick back. It's nothing like this dude's awesome video here, but...
Okay, hi. In case you missed class, one of the questions we were having some issues with was, what happens when I have a story problem like this and I'm not sure what to do? The problem here reads, traveling at 150 miles per hour, a plane makes a trip in 4 hours. How long will it take at 200 miles per hour? 2.25 hours, 3 hours, 5.75, 7.5, or 7,500? Now again, we're doing ACT type things here, so if we can get rid of an answer that doesn't make sense, we can. Well, if I was going 150 before and it took me 4 hours, now I'm going 200. Well, I'm going faster, so what does that mean? It's going to take me less time. So if it's going to take me less time, any answer over the 4 hours that I have right here doesn't make any sense. So before we even start doing math, we've eliminated D, E, and C because they're all too high. Now a lot of times we'll use a percent proportion to try and solve this then. So here's what will happen with a lot of students. They'll say, okay, I went 150 miles per hour and I did that for 4 hours. Then I'm going 200 miles per hour and I'm going X. They set up a proportion, which is a good idea for this problem possibly, but here's the dilemma. I start to go ahead and do my work and I cross multiply and I divide by 150 and I get 5.33. Well, not only is that not one of the answers, but again, it doesn't make sense. Why is it going to take me longer when I'm going faster? This would be an example of direct variation. That's not going to help me here. So let's find an easier way. What ends up happening here is if I go 150 miles per hour for 4 hours, my trip was 600 miles. Okay? Well, how does that help me? Both people are going the same amount on their trip. So here's what ends up happening on this. Once I know there's 600 miles, I can divide by my speed and find out that the trip takes me 3 hours. Simpler way to do it. Not only that, but it also allows me the opportunity to get an answer that's sensible. So a couple things just to think about. First, when you're doing testing with multiple choice, if there are answers that don't make sense, cancel them right away because then you're not going to be tempted to use them. And then also go ahead and keep life simple when you can. You don't have to be fancy just because it's a math problem.
Okay, so now we've taken a look at using YouTube videos or other places like khanacademy.org, places like that. We've taken a look at websites that might be able to just visually let kids see what's going on. We've seen the way to get work inside to be able to let the kids get their makeup work and makeup notes, even see videos online of what's going on with lessons. So to me, this site's pretty darn cool already. But, and just the love of doing this at school, but the problem that tends to come up with something like this is when we go back and we start to get our presentation back in order here. There we go. So, again, download videos from other sites and Azure Visual Help. Went ahead and I covered that, so I got a little ahead of myself here. So, adding pages from other sources. Now again, I talked about some of the links that I had to notes and assignments for our first unit that I uploaded. So I did add Word documents. I had added a PDF in there. I hadn't added PowerPoints But that'd be just as easy. And they have a real good guide that I'm not going to go ahead and click on the link because you'd be able to find it just by going to their help. That's very good about explaining how you can download those things, and it really, really is easy. Again, adding the YouTube video page, go to YouTube, find the video, and copy the link. If you have an embed option, you can do that at that point. But again, I just, for space and timing issues and not being an expert at that, chose to go away from doing those things, and everything seems to be working okay with me. So I'm just going to kind of keep mine going that way. Okay, downloading videos. Again, I did kind of like what I had showed you before. I didn't literally show you how I did it, but if you click the Add Video button, select the file from your source. If that's the internet, you have a website. In my case, I took it from my flash drive because that's where I'd had things gone on there. And again, the short lesson that I did on Screencast-o-matic is going to be coming up here momentarily. So I'll show you also how I did that. And actually, I'm going to do that right now. So stick with me. I know this is all over the place, but hence the world of the internet. So we are going to go back to my website for a minute. I'm going to head over to Algebra 2. Now, I don't have a ton on my Algebra 2 page here, but we are going to get to view in its entirety Mr. Hardy's rap debut for completing the square. Not as cool as the last teachers. You are not going to see me facially doing it, but you are going to see my words and how it goes along with the concept with something that some of my Algebra 2 students have a hard time with. So let's go linking away here again. And again, this is being done strictly with Screencast-o-matic, a Word document that I have with my Completing the Square song, and just the microphone coming straight from my laptop here. So here we go.
Hi, we've been having some issues here in Algebra 2 working with our Completing the Square in our quadratics unit, so I thought maybe having some extra examples might help you as you're working through some of your own, and also having a catchy little tune to remember things by might help you remember some of the pieces. So I am definitely not going to be on America's Got Talent or American Idol anytime soon, but here goes my best rendition of this a cappella style. So here we go. Can't seem to factor it, that's okay. Do I need to divide? That's all terms, hey. X's alone. Need to find B to complete the square, that's all I need. Have B, square half B. Add it here, add it there. Have B, square half B. Add it here, add it there. Now take the square root plus minus is key. Now solve for X, that was easy you see. Have B, square half B. Add it here, add it there. Have B, square half B. Add it here, add it there. Hopefully your ears have not been ruined. Hopefully this will help you completing the square. Have a good day.
Okay, so again, something else that you can put on there. I'm getting to show the kids that I'm kind of human. And you also get to see how something works in a format that the kids might actually enjoy. And sometimes that's half the battle in trying to make sure that they're enjoying what they're doing. I have a good time with it myself. So, kind of heading back here. So again, posts. Now again, what good is a blog without some posts to be responded to? So I ask about different things with life applications and problems and ways to problem solve. During ACT prep, I'd be asking how kids are working on studying and tools they've found and stuff like that. So let's take a peek here at my blog to kind of see how this is working. So all I'm going to do, again, is bring up my page. So let's say, for instance, why do you like math? Okay, why or why not? Now, someone coming to my page, they just see this, and they say, this is kind of interesting maybe. Let's see what people think on this. And I can always see down here on the bottom how many comments have been made. So I can see if something's been new or old or whatever it happens to be. So again, I put my initial post in to get a reaction. Being a math teacher, I love math, but maybe you don't feel the same way. So post your feelings about math and where you think those feelings came from. Talk about past success or failure, ways it has been taught to you, etc. So then I, of course, responded to my own because there is no one else to respond, just so you can see what it looks like. Oh, I love math too. I enjoy problem solving and working with numbers. I've had good teachers who are willing to explain things. And sometimes they may say, well, this has sucked, that sucked. And you always want to make sure a couple of things. And that's a couple of things I can do on this site that I like. One, in my post up above, if this was actually to students, I would say there needs to be no specific mention of teacher names, of course. I don't want things like that. Also, I always have the opportunity that I can delete posts if I want to. So if I get on there and somebody said, you know, Mr. Hardy is the worst friggin' teacher I've ever seen in my life, I can X things out. Now, if it's about me, I really don't care, frankly. But that's something that I can do as I'm checking out pages like this. So it's kind of nice, and you can leave it in so many different directions. And you can leave it where you can allow students to post things and start, but that seems a little dangerous to me, so I'm probably going to avoid that for the time being. So, again, the comments, I let you see that too, so we kind of worked that way. Okay, archiving. Now this I haven't been able to play with a whole lot yet, but it is a cool feature that they do on here with a couple of options. So if we go back to the site here for a minute, I'm going to go ahead and get back to my home page. What you'll start to notice if I swing over here a little bit is a couple of things that are nice. One, older posts. If I want to see something that happened like a couple of months ago. Now I just opened this account, so I don't go back further than April. But I can go back and look at things this way from older time as far as posts go. I can also see information on latest posts that I have. And one other thing that I really like about this site, posts that have been done lately. If I'm looking, well, what did they talk about Monday? Oh, welcome to my math page. What did they talk about Tuesday? Whatever's on here post-wise is up there for those school times. So if I wanted to put a post, Algebra 2 test coming up Wednesday, and I put that on like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday as a post, it'll repost it for me, and it'll show up on my calendar so they can look and see that. I kind of like that. It's kind of cool the way that that works. So I haven't even gotten into a couple of my other issues here yet, which I will momentarily. But for the moment, we will get back to it over here. Okay. Now, Screencast-o-matic. I'm going to start that in a second. There's one other thing I want to show you on the Edublogs page, and then I'm going to show you how Screencast kind of works. You're getting to see how Screencast works right now. But for a moment, I'm going to come over and go back to my site and just talk about a couple more quick things. When I talked before about embedding things, here's what I mean. My ACT prep math class, this looks more like what I would have most of my classes looking like for an entire quarter. So let's say now we're into the second week of class and you missed the entire first week. Okay? Now you can go back to that week and find out whatever happened for any of those days. Your parents can find out, you can, they can get the sheets, you can print them off at home, you don't necessarily have to wait until the next day to ask me. It's cool, but it also lets you keep up for the current weeks, and I'm going to be doing this for each of the preps that I have. It could get a little crazy at times, but that's okay. The cool math sites I'll be building just with websites that I've found different places and the applications that they have for kids. So I'm trying to make this page a be-all, end-all. Not only can you come here if you're struggling, you come here if you're absent. I can keep contact with parents this way. I can let parents know what's coming up. Nobody has any excuses because you always know that you hear them, whether it's for absences, contacts, whatever. With this, there's not as much of that available. And it's something that I really find is going to end up being helpful for me once I get all of this work done as I'm working through my page. So that basically lets you see my page for right now and some of the things that I've done with it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close some of these out, and we're going to talk a little more about Screencast-o-matic. Couple of things that I like about this so far. Now, like I mentioned before, I'm in a pro level, which is the reason, and some of you are saying, wow, I wish you'd have just stayed with the free, you'd only been able to go 15 minutes. I can go for an unlimited amount of time on Screencast-o-matic talking when I have a pro thing, and pro is only like $12 a year, so for the ability to be able to make this as long as I want is wonderful. However, Screencast-o-matic, when you go to record something, only allows you to record, up to their website, which can only be 15 minutes. So like I won't be able to record this to theirs. You can put it to a flash drive in Windows Media, Flash, and there's one other one that I'm forgetting about. You can upload to YouTube, and it gives you all of these other options. So it's kind of nice to see how this works. And they do have some excellent screens on helping out with videos as you're working through these. Now, I wish I could run Screencast-o-matic while I was doing it, and maybe I can actually. Let's kind of come back here. So as you're looking through and seeing how this works, okay, I'm actually going to run the demo here in a minute because they do a better job of explaining their own thing than I do. But here's one thing I like. Once you have an account, you can go and you can look at your own screencasts once they get downloaded. Now, I did a screwy one just to start messing around. I'm not going to run you through 6 minutes of that. But you can look at it online, and it's there for you if you wanted to put it somewhere. Okay? Like it says along here on the side, you can create your own channels with things like this. You create a channel for a class, and then you give them that URL, and then whenever you have a new episode up, they can see it right away. It's kind of neat the way that goes. Now, again, they mention here allowing anyone to submit to your channel. I'm not quite that brave. So it's kind of nice to see how that works. Okay. Now, the Pro Tools, that would only be something you would have if you upgraded. But again, you can pause, you can cut pieces out, you can splice. Those are some of the things you can do without that. But otherwise, okay, teachers, students, like I see here, math, thinking about me, I could go ahead in here with my smart tools and start doing those things and then record myself so my students would have access to the lesson. And you can see how you can get to YouTube and all of the other things. And again, you'll notice on here they have the free hosting, the web camera. You can post to YouTube no matter what, but you start getting more options, including some of the ones that I'm starting to use here as you get into Pro. But I'm just going to take a minute. I'm going to let them do a quick little demo here of their item. So I'll be quiet here once it starts. Oh, that's right. I can't run this at school. Hee hee. So I will try to record this when I'm at home and then go ahead and get that. So we'll have to get a little bit started on that a little bit later. But what you're seeing so far, and let me go back to the welcome. It's kind of bad to make you look at that, is the ability to be able to use all of these technology tools that we have, not only to make things better for the kids, but also to make things better for us. There's no real reason that we can't make things like this. So if you can't stay after school an hour before and an hour after school every day of the week and have your lunch and everything else, have the kids go to the IMC and tell them where they can find you know, and watch this video lesson and work through something. And we're still going to have things that we have to ask kids questions on and things like that. Hi, I decided instead of having you look at the screen, you can go ahead and look at me a little bit longer. But my biggest reason with wanting to do these two sites basically was to try and make life livable. Quick story, I am newly married. My wife does not want me doing this 70 hours a week, living at school, coming home, trying to reteach things, do all the things. Now, I'm still going to do some of that. I'm still going to work with my kids on some things. But with having the opportunity to be able to have sites like this where the kids can get some help on their own and maybe come in and have some directed questions instead of, well, what don't you get? Everything. Okay? To kind of give them some background and some places instead of just saying we'll figure it out, because so many of them get frustrated with that I can understand why they get frustrated. I would too. But this just gives us an opportunity to be able to do that. At this point, we got just about 20 minutes left of the time that I have. I'm going to go ahead and go out of virtual mode here and come back into reality, maybe be able to answer some questions since I've got a little experience with both of these now and how they work, and maybe I can actually show you firsthand how a Screencast-o-matic works since I'm using it right now and it won't let me show any of their other videos. So hopefully I can add an attachment right after I'm done here when I get home showing you how some things work and showing a couple other videos of questions. But otherwise, we're going to have some playtime here at the end to mess around and see how it might be applicable to you, and maybe I can answer some questions. I'm not the total expert, but I've been playing with this enough lately to see how things go well or not so much. So thanks for dealing with me here for the past 40 minutes or so, and I'm hoping that you've learned something, and if you have any questions, let me know, and this will be on the website if you ever need a sleeping tool to get sleep at night. Have a good one.